Thanks for being back here with us this week, and obviously not the outcome we wanted up in Cullowhee this past weekend. Was very pleased with the effort of our football team, and we put ourselves in position to win the ball game. And Saturday's frustrating from a standpoint of it goes back to what I said back at the beginning of the season, that we were going to win our fair share of games as long as we did what good football teams do. And late in the year, good football teams take care of the football. Good football teams don't have penalties at critical downs. Good football teams play disciplined, fundamentally sound defense. And although we did some really, really good things on Saturday, and really I felt like we controlled the line of scrimmage offensively, I thought we moved the ball very, very effectively. We had a couple of breakdowns in the red zone that took away very, very good scoring opportunities against a good football team, playing with a lot of confidence and playing very, very well. And we had 3 penalties, 2 of them on a 4th down that we were going for it. We thought were very manageable. We thought we had a good play call. Another one on a third and a short 3, where we felt like we would have gotten the first down. And then defensively, a couple of the runs there in the 4th quarter just came from guys trying to do too much, trying to play outside the scheme, and giving up a gap or something along those lines. So things that we have to correct, things that we can correct, because everything I just mentioned is all within our own control. And we correct those things, and we're sitting here talking about probably a win that may not even be within a touchdown. You may be talking about a 2-score win on Saturday if we had done those things. Now, that's to take nothing away from Western Carolina. I think that they really have it rolling right now and are playing very, very well. I think Coach Spear has done a good job putting together a roster that is very athletic, has good team speed. I thought they did the fundamental things very, very well Saturday. And they're playing with a lot of confidence, so that goes a long ways in our sport also. All that being said, we had a good Sunday with the players. Watched the film, had a workout Sunday night. Just finished a meeting a little while ago, and the guys are committed to each other. They're committed to preparing this week just like we did last week, correcting our mistakes. Going into Saturday, and we're going down to Mercer to face a very good Mercer football team. You look at last Saturday, I thought it was a very telling Saturday for them. They're sitting on the 13-yard line or so with less than 3 minutes to play, down 7 against Chattanooga. And had really, it wasn't by luck that they were in that situation. They had an 85-yard screen pass that they took to the house, had a 60-some-yard pass play there in the 2nd quarter against Chattanooga, and they really had moved the ball very, very well on UTC all day long. And you look back at their games, the one anomaly maybe is the Western Carolina game, where it was a 35-21 defeat, but that's the one game where they turned it over there. Everything else, they had a chance to beat Sanford. They beat VMI. Had a chance to beat Furman before Furman's quarterback went down when they were playing pretty well. And then the rest of the games in their schedule have been wins. So we're playing a very good team, very explosive offense, very good on special teams, very well coached. Coach Lamb's done a good job building that program there, and we'll be challenged on Saturday. But we are very excited about the football game. I think it'll be another game where we have a great chance to win. I think it'll be a very close game, and one that should be an exciting game to play in. I do have with me today Aaron Miller, our starting quarterback, who I thought played very, very well Saturday. Big touchdown run in the 4th quarter that at that point in time, I really thought that we were going to pull the game out and be able to win it. So I thought that was a big play in the game. And then our free safety, Nick Willis, had a good game Saturday. Has been a solid leader for us, not only on the field but in the locker room and on the practice field all year long, and just a really quality person. So I got these 2 guys with me here today. So any questions about the Western game or the Mercer game coming up for me or either of the players?
Mike, for you and Aaron, I think in 6 of the 8 games, all 3 SoCon games, you scored 2 touchdowns. What's it? You want to take to break through, you know, that sort of ceiling and score maybe another touchdown or two?
I think Saturday's obvious. You know, Isaiah Smith breaks on a 53-yard run and gets the ball stripped on the 1-yard line. There's 7. We're in the middle of a very, very good drive in the fourth quarter where Cam Jackson gets the ball stripped there on about our 23-yard line going in. I firmly believe we would have scored right there. Tyler Renew on the first drive of the ball game. Aaron had stepped out of the game for a few minutes, was in there with Dominique, and lost the ball around the 29-yard line. So the thing it comes down to is our execution. We just got to stay consistent with execution, do a good job with ball security, and I think you're looking at a 35-point game Saturday.
Aaron, your thoughts?
I just feel like we have to be a little more consistent because we start off drives fairly well, and then either a penalty sets us back or ball security in this case. We just have to be more consistent throughout the drive and finish the drive.
Mike, I guess it's frustrating that 8 games into the season, these self-inflicted wounds are still hurting.
Yep, that's what we just got through talking about is, this late in the year, typically my teams have not done that, and that's the frustrating thing. It's not for lack of effort. The kids, I think, are giving very good effort, but I think it's something that, I could sit up here and say, well, all three of the fumbles Saturday were from first-year players. Tyler played a little bit last year, but he's a first-year starter. But still, they've played an entire season now. They've got to do a good job with taking care of the football. The penalty stuff, you can see exactly why 2 of them happened. 2 of them were the 2 fourth downs, Western shifts, a real quick shift, trying to shift from one defense to another defense, and we have a guy flinch. It's just continuing to focus on trying to be as disciplined as we can in those situations right there is critical, and hopefully we'll see that. My experience has been, when you start playing really well and you're playing with a lot of confidence and things like that, you don't see those things happen, and so hopefully we can get on that roll this weekend.
The second false start penalty, in retrospect, you wish you might have gone for it anyway in that situation, or when you punted with about 5 minutes to go?
They're late.
False start?
Well, no, we have went for it a lot on fourth down this year, but I always try to weigh in, is it manageable and where's the game at right there? And I just felt like if we go for it there on fourth and what would have been about 7, that late, and we don't get it, the game's over. And we'd gotten a 3 and out, I think, the previous series, and so I was hoping to be able to, hold them much like we did at Wofford, and give our offense the ball back with another chance to go down and score.
Mike, does Mercer, the first year in the league, do they look like a SoCon team on film? What's your view?
Very much. Well, 21-18 at Samford, 38-31 at Chattanooga, 27-24 win at VMI, 25-20 loss at home to what was then a good Furman football team. So I think they're very competitive. They're playing with, and one thing, same thing with UNC Charlotte. Everybody says, well, they're a new program. Well, this is their 3rd year of existence. That means all their players, for the most part, or at least 50% or more of their players are the same age as Mitchell Jeter, who I consider a veteran football player, or Nick Willis. So you're not playing with kids that are right out of high school. You're playing with kids that have been in the program for 3 years. They have their starting free safety signed with me at Lenoir-Rhyne after the 2009 football season. So he's an older kid. So you have a lot of guys like that on their roster as well. So it's I think they've done a good job. They're playing very well. They run their scheme very well, the spread scheme very well. They have good speed, good skill speed. So I think it'll be a very good football game. I think it'll be an opponent very similar to the one we just played.
Are they comparable to anybody you played on offense? Who would you?
The last 2 games. They're very similar to Western and UT Chattanooga.
Coach, with the spread offenses, you watch TV on the weekend, you have the West Virginias, the Baylors, TCUs. People are just lighting it up. Football goes through trends.
Yeah.
Is this a case where the spread has gotten ahead of the defense right now with all the?
I think,
it seems like a lot of
yeah.
scoring going on.
I think the big thing is the quarterback position. So you get a guy back there that can throw it very effectively, and at the same time he can run it very effectively. And everything is a read. I mean, everything is a run, keep, pass, read, and it forces you to play man coverage or quarters coverage in the secondary. So you're isolated one-on-one all across the board, and it all comes down to speed. And so it's putting a lot of stress on defenses. And that, you look up and TCU scores 82 on Texas Tech, and I think 2 weeks ago Baylor put up a huge number on TCU, who I think Coach Bumpus does a great job at TCU defensively. So everybody's struggling containing this thing.
Mike, it looked to me like Troy Mitchell would stick the ball in the belly and then read whether he's going to hand off or pass it.
Yep,
Is that what's
it's
going on?
that's the spread. Their version of the spread is they're really running a triple option offense. Is what they're doing. He can hand it to the ball carrier, hand it to the tailback. He can keep it and run it himself, or they have pass combination off of it. And the front, they block a run scheme. So you got to play run up front. You got to play pass in the secondary, and then it's a give, keep, pass, read. And we tried to mix it up Saturday between pressure and playing base. Really we did a pretty good job with the pressure most of the day until the last, right there on the last drive, and we had a breakdown with just a responsibility breakdown with one of our guys. But it really stresses you.
Can you talk about the stress that puts on the defense where he's reading run or he might pull it and pass it?
It just causes you to be very fundamental. You have to trust what your coaches have told you all throughout the week and try to do other people's jobs. Our Coach Houston always preaches that you have to play your position. So as a safety, if I see receivers running routes, I have to honor those routes, and I just can't run up and try to tackle the quarterback. It's not my job.
Their quarterback coach, Russ, is the highest rated tackler in the league.
Yeah.
6'7" in the country.
Yep. And he's our second leading rusher.
Yeah, tell me about how he, sometimes you can put a guy in a position where he's making safe route throws.
Right.
For that sort of thing. I haven't seen any film, so tell me what.
Yeah, they're actually getting shotgun version of the wishbone a good bit. You probably see them in that formation probably 10 to 15 times on Saturday, and when they get in that, they have a good play action game off of it, and he throws the ball very well down the field. And so you see them. I mean, Sanford and Chattanooga both, they beat them pretty good down the field in both games, post routes and play action takeoff routes. So, number one, he's a very talented passer. Number two, they're putting themselves in a position where they can max protect, and then with their speed out wide, isolate those guys one-on-one. And so they've done a good job with the scheme of using his talents, and he's a very headsy quarterback. I'd say very comparable to maybe a Jacob Huseman, but maybe throws it a little bit better. So he's definitely a talented player.
Doesn't hurt to have no quarterback as your head coach.
No, and Bobby Lamb's, he's evolved from the two-back Furman run game that they used to run up there in Greenville. But I think he spent his time when he was away from the game studying the offenses, the West Virginia style offenses, and they're really doing a good job with it. But they still have some of the same fundamental stuff that his teams at Furman had in it. Where if they got a line down and just run the football, they do a good job with it.
Aaron, the other day, our time of possession was 34 minutes. That's a compliment to the offense. I just want to ask you, as a quarterback, are you trying to manage the play clock where we say we extend the game? Is that part of your?
Well, our pace is determined on how the defense is reacting and how they're stopping us or playing against us. So if they're getting a little more tired due to conditioning reasons or play calling from their sideline, we'll speed it up some. But if they're lining good, making good adjustments, then we'll slow it down to our pace so that we make sure we're all on the same page so that we can execute to the best of our abilities.